from that campaign that some soldier brought back, or maybe or Middle Eastern swords, whatever swords, there were a massive range of qualities. The apps fight with it, but I would not personally. If I did have to fight with it, I'd want to have a shield as well. This is a big clunky.
This one's at about 75 feet. So I'm standing in the middle of this now, and it's about 90 feet. This one's 100, but sort of the median for this is about 90 feet. And then we'll stand the other way and see how far a solid shot goes. And single dart. Now hit the wall. Try one more time. Paces.
So this is mostly your project right here. As most people know, we are both devout followers of the Church of the Magnum. I think we both came to the consensus that it was our favorite blaster of 2016.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Period for me.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Yep.
You did some improvements.
I have. I've done some improvements.
Which are not immediately apparent to the unsuspecting eye.
Yeah, so the problem with the Magnum is that they designed it so that there's not a ton more that needs to be done to it, or that you even can do to it. There's not like an air restrictor you can take out, which like I think that the community sort of as a whole has stopped taking
Yeah.
air restrictors out of a lot of
There
things.
isn't unnecessary parts of the shell that you're going to want to, remove,
Yeah, it's
minimize
pretty-
it in any way.
It's just a good thing. Anyway, we'll stop
Yeah.
goading this thing. So, the cool thing, we talked about it in another video. This is the first generation one. The second one, you have to do a slightly different modification.
Sure.
My friend
Pretty
Jeff
minor.
has done that one. Maybe we'll talk about that in a future episode.
Sure.
About how to adjust your second one without. So, like the newest, they're doing a third generation that has a hole in the back here that you have to stick like an Allen key in to pop that out. That's not cool. But anyway, this is one of the first ones. So this just comes out and this pops out. So before the Magnum was a thing, I was in love with the Fearless Fire, which is a 20-round rotating drum flywheel semi-auto Rebel blaster that is still pretty awesome. And I still have that, and like that's one of my prized possessions and favorite mods I've done, favorite things to use. But then this came out, and I just only really want to use it.
Right.
Anyway, so the Fearless Fire did one thing better than this does, which was dart feeding. So I'll put a picture of the drum up right here. Anyway, so it has these little channels that guide darts in.
Right.
So you could reach into your dart pouch and pull out like a handful of darts, and as long as they were sort of aligned with your fingers, you could just slap them on the drum and shove them in.
Naturally feed them.
Naturally just feed right in. So you could just be reloading 4 at a time, which is like unheard of.
Right.
Which means that, you do that 5 times and your drums, you're back
You're back in the fight.
Yeah, which is like 12 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I timed it. I'm a huge nerd that way. I like timed it to see how quick I could get it. As I like sit here and shadow box.
Yeah.
I shadow reload constantly. Anyway, and the Magnum doesn't allow you to do that. So the Magnum has these. Whoa, yeah, I've done a thing to it. So we'll get back to the way this works normally. So it's going to be tough to see on this camera, but I'll show another picture. So this has this little lip in here that makes it so that you can really only feed 1 dart in at a time, because you have to be super precise with it. So if you try and do 2, you're going to run into the sides of it and get stuck down in this lip a lot too. So that was sort of a thing that bothered me about it.
Yeah.
So over the course of the past several months, I taught myself to 3D model, because I had explained this problem to some other people and nobody was as like pumped about doing it as I was. So I just taught myself how to 3D model, and had a friend, his name is Sean, he's a cool dude, he nerfs with us.
Yeah, he's cool.
Had him print this for me, and he helped me with some of the prototyping and some of the mistakes I was making. But so this part, basically it prints in 2 pieces, and it's just a pressure fit in there, and this makes this drum feed much more like the Fearless Fire does. So it just pops right into place, and is friction fit in there. It doesn't come out. I've been to maybe 3 games with it like this. Eventually I'll glue it in there. It's still prototyping, so I'm working a few kinks out. There's some changes that I want to make to it. But it fits right in there, and then allows you to very easily slide 3 darts right in. Some of the changes I'll make it easier to load 4 in at a time, which really brings the functionality of this blaster in a war, in an HVZ scenario, way up. Being that it's not full auto or even semi-auto that you have to pump it, you're already really able to control your ammunition usage a ton, and then being able to reload even faster just makes this an even better thing. So yeah, look for me to post. I don't know if I'll do like an Etsy store for this, or if I'll just put it up on Thingiverse or something.
Yeah.
And so people can print it themselves for free and make changes and stuff. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it, but in the next couple of months, look forward to these being out there. If there's interest, so then the next thing is upgrading the spring in this. So inside here is a sear mechanism that I'll put a picture of up. So the plunger tube is not small, and it can handle a lot of different types of springs, but it has a sear mechanism that rides on a little spring-fed catch in here. So it's got 2 spring-fed locks that are what pulls the plunger back. And I imagine that's in there, A, to help with the slam fire.
That's what I was going to say.
And B, probably so you can't put a much stronger spring in
Your
it.
spring, kind of lock it out, yeah.
Uh-huh. Because if you try and put a bigger spring in it, it'll slip.
Right.
Every time. So I have an acrylic piece in here that blocks it now.
Okay.
And I have a 3D printed, or an STL file for a 3D printed version of it that I'll put up whenever I figure out how to do that too. That you just slip it right in there, and then you can put whatever spring you want in.
Right.
Blocks it off. Right now, there's I think this is an Orange Modworks 7 kilogram Retaliator spring.
Okay.
In it, like the special edition one or whatever. Yeah, that's in there, and I'm probably getting maybe 30% more performance out of it.
Good deal.
Yeah. Works really well. It's like all the power you would ever need for an HVZ. It gets into like more than that. You get into like giving people welts on the face and stuff, and like that's not cool. And you don't need to shoot zombies that are 70 feet away from you when engagements happen at 30 feet or less. You do have to make some modifications to the actual plunger rod. You have to sort of file down the edges a little bit because the Retaliator spring's a bit smaller. But it has not affected durability at all. I've been to 3 wars with this, and it works great. Maybe I'll put up a firing video and some crony information in a subsequent video.
Cool.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, Dart Zone is releasing recolors, repaints of these.
Yeah.
With the drum is going to be the same color, or rather, the blaster's going to be this green.
It's going to be the green.
Yeah. And the drum is red, I think, right?
I think it was like a reddish, like a dirty brown.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And then the handle scales and the prime are going to be the coyote.
Yeah.
I'm way into coyote.
Yeah, it's going to look sweet.
Yeah. I can't wait to buy a bunch of repaints. Yeah, so that's an update on what I'm doing with Dart Zone Magnum. Yeah, we've done several of these today, and we have not reminded folks that this is Chicago's.
Oh, Chicago's premier #1 best nerfing-related podcast on the internet. Yeah, we didn't do a hammy opener.
No, we haven't.
Shit. So, like Dory says, just keep swimming. Here's AKA Papa Tortilla says, just keep shooting.
If you like sweet mods and even sweeter podcasts, hit that subscribe button for more from Frisco Bandito and the Nerf Mercs.